Leapwing Audio has released the follow-up to their Stage One plugin, and it's not called Stage 2, but Stage 1, 2. Hi, I'm Marlon of Widener Studio. It's not an effect, but a collection of 5 dedicated stereo processing and mix saving tools. And the plugin already helped me in getting some problematic stereo tracks nicely tucked in. The 5 algorithms of the plugin can be adjusted with their own set of controls over 3 user-definable frequency bands. One of the very powerful fixing algorithms is phase recovery, which listens to a left and right paired audio track and fixes out-of-phase elements between the two very effectively. This will make sure you have mono compatibility and no phase cancellations, which makes for a better mix. Here's a stereo overhead recording I'm currently editing, where I have flipped one of the channels out of phase. This gives an unfocused stereo image. You can hear that better on speakers than on headphones. When you enable phase recovery, you hear that everything gets nice in phase and the focus returns. Let me flip the overhead channel back to normal, and even like this, phase recovery improves the phase and sound of this pair of overhead tracks. I do this type of mixing a lot, and having your tracks in phase surely will save you a lot of headaches. Center gravity is another fixing algorithm, and you can compare it with a very broad directional EQ, where you can shift a chunk of the audio spectrum to the left or right. It's not a complete panning, more of a redistribution. Listen to the next example. I have used this already to get a hi-hat mod to the center, and another scenario could be if you have some low frequency off center and you want it more in center. Stereo width is something you will have seen in other plugins. It sounds like it uses a mid-side method, adjustable with the 3 bands, where the balance between the two gives you a smaller stereo image or a very wide, even too wide image if you push it too far. With the 3 bands, it's easy to get a tapered like stereo width, where the low end is almost mono and you get nicely wide at the high frequencies. This is something you basically want in every mix and is a must when you do vinyl mastering. Mono spread is something else. With some clever trickery, you can widen a mono source to create a sort of pseudo stereo.
Is this for real, or is this all just something I built in my head? Can we all just live in this heaven instead?
When you have a very dry mono vocal, this can spread the vocal a bit in a mix. Mono spread sounds a bit more diffused and less focused.
Perfect, but is this for real, or is this all just something I built in my head? Can we all just live in this heaven instead? I think I'm losing it, I have to admit. I've been building a paradise, building a paradise.
The 5th algorithm, which is depth, adds reflections to the audio. Think of the early reflections of a reverb. This will increase its depth, but it doesn't push the audio you use it on backwards. would say it even brings it forward a bit. For the most part I really like this GUI, it's clear and has this nice stereo field display. I have two small issues with how it handles. The first is that with the frequency bands dividers, for some reason the part where that crossover is displayed cannot be used to change the frequency. Only this line. The other one is when you manually want to set values, you double click and you can only enter a value after the existing number. For a whole new value you need to delete first and then type the new value. It's a bit cumbersome. The plugin does about 6% on my Windows 11 system and has 60 milliseconds of latency. It really is a plugin for mixing or mastering only. Now if you already own the previous StageOne, I would pay the $30 or so for the upgrade to version 2, since it offers so much more. You get 2 new powerful algorithms and multi-band support. Leapwing Audio always creates very handy, very useful plugins like the one which is displayed on screen and linked in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe.